Yo, what's good, people? So we're back today with another video, and today I'm breaking down exactly what appointment setting is and the types of setters that are out there. You've probably seen some other videos where I talk about different things about appointment setting, but I've never actually made a video breaking down what appointment setting is, different types of setters, and exactly how to book calls and what needs to be done before booking the calls. So yeah, let's dive straight into it. So what is appointment setting? Appointment setting is literally booking calls, so setting calls into a calendar, and that's just a simple breakdown. That's literally what it is. You're as an appointment setter, what you're doing is literally booking calls into a calendar, right? But this is the bigger breakdown. This is what people tell you it is, but I'm going to show you the truth. So, as an appointment setter, your job is to book calls in book calls for people who already have a service. For example, they could sell like a dropshipping program, they could sell a trading program, or they could even be a fitness coach. So any sort of coach could be influencer, coach, or anybody who runs an online business. And they obviously have to sell a product, otherwise there'd be nothing to sell. And that's what you're booking the prospects on calls for. And you take commissions of every closed call. So closed call, about 5 to 10% commissions per deal that's closed, right? And yeah, sometimes you'll get a base, but not always, right? Then we got the two different types of appointment setting. So we'll start off with DM setting. As a DM setter, you'll actually be signed into the influencer's account or the coach's account itself. You will pretend to be them and you'll book calls with the prospect. So you'll be inside their Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, Telegram DMs. It really depends. Some influencers do use all of them, some only use some of them. You might only be in one platform or you might be in all platforms, depending on what you do. And you then book the prospect that you're talking to, so you're going back and forth in the DMs, onto a call with the business owner or the closer. But it depends, because some businesses do have a closer. Some businesses, the business owner will take the call. They're not at the point where they've actually got a closer yet. If you're wondering what a closer is somebody who takes the calls and actually closes them for you to get the commissions. But obviously, once you've done all that, you don't just have a general chat. Your job is to make sure they are qualified, as in, do they work a job? Can they actually pay for what you're booking them on a call for? Because why would you want to book them on a call where they can't even pay for the product or service you've got to offer? Make sure they want to start now. Reason for this, because if they don't want to start now, they can easily get on the call and then be like, oh, this is something I actually want to start in the future, not yet. And again, that's wasting time for the closer or the business owner, depending on who's taking the call. Another big thing that I always say to setters is high interest. Always high interest, because interest is like a really big thing that not many people talk about, because the more interested these people are, the bigger chance there is for them to actually turn up to the call for a start and then close on the call because they're that interested. A lot of people just book the calls in and hope for the best, but I always say quality over quantity. And then again, you want the prospect you're talking to in the DMs to have a real problem or a goal they do want to achieve. Because if they got neither of these, then there's no point in even getting them on the call. But once that is covered, you then go back down to... So once that's covered, you then got the prompt to actually book them on a call. But your job is not done just yet. Your job is done once they're on the call. But so before the call, usually you book them up to 2 to 3 days max. Always good to keep touch points, right? So 24 hours, 12 hours and 1 hour before the call. If they confirm on all of these, then the chances are they are going to turn up the call. You do get time wasters now and again who don't turn up the call but will say they're going to turn up. But that's just what happens sometimes. But that goes down to setting process and digging deep enough to make sure they do pull up to the call. Then, once the call is booked and they've confirmed, you hand over the call notes. Call notes is just some information, maybe what they do for work, what they're working towards, what they're looking to achieve, what their biggest struggles are. So this could either be for the closer or the business owner to know the exact situation about the prospect he's actually going to be talking to on the call. And without this, the closer is going to have an issue, because he's not going to have a clue what this guy's even struggling with, what is even gone inside the DMs, because as a DM setter, you're the only one inside the DMs. Closer doesn't have access to DMs, he's just taking the calls that you're taking. So that's why it's so good to go in depth with these notes, so they know exactly what's going on, because at the end of the day, it's your money on the table. And then the call then gets taken by the person who's taking the calls for the business. If the call closes, you get 5 to 10% commissions of that deal. Person who's taking the calls here, what I meant here was either the closer or the business owner. And then deal closed, money. And that's like a simple process. That's literally a simple breakdown of what a DM setter is and how it all works. Obviously, without this, there's not really point in booking them on a call, because some people, there's a lot of business owners out there who just say book as many calls as possible, but that's not how I like to go around it. And in the DM setter's perspective, they could be booking, say, 40 calls a week for only 4 calls. They may as well literally have booked the 4 calls actually got done. But yeah, sometimes as a DM setter, if you are watching as a DM setter, you do just want to go for quality over quantity, because nobody actually cares about the amount of calls you're booking. They care about how many calls actually get closed and the quality of the leads. For a start, you don't want to waste your time, you don't want to waste the business owner's time, and you certainly don't want to waste the closer's time. And if you are booking unqualified leads on, then that's exactly what you're going to be doing. But yeah, so that's DM setting. Now I'm going to move on to phone setting, SDR. So same sort of process, but instead you're going to be on the phone. And then you're going to be on things like, you could either be using WhatsApp, you could be using Go High Level, or there's many other phone dialing platforms you can be using. But instead of being inside the DMs, like you signing into the influencers DMs or whatever you're doing, you actually phone the prospect. Usually these prospects have given like a type form where they've actually shown interest starting off, so you're not just ringing random people, unless you are on a cold call mode, but that's for a different story. What you do as a warm dialer, you'd call the prospect, you'd introduce yourself, because now you're not in the influence account, you're actually ringing off a random number. Then you'd be like, who's ringing my number? Because like, it's clear to see that the business owner is not going to be ringing these random people, because the people you're going to be working for, they're all going to be very, very busy people. So that's why you've got to introduce yourself if you're a phone dialer, and just explain who you are, where you're from, and why you're calling them up. So as you are on a call with them, I always like to just have a general chat about what they've what they've actually shown interest to. For example, if they are looking for a gym PT or looking for an online coach, they're going to show an interest into the having a PT and actually losing the weight, right? So you just want to go to like, hey, name, and then introduce yourself, and then just spoke like, oh, I'm calling about XYZ. I heard you want a fitness coach. And then they could be like, oh yeah, and then you could just have a general chat about that. Always good to introduce yourself. And yeah, so again, same sort of direction, because no matter what the thing is, you do want to make sure they're qualified, you want to make sure they want to start now, you want to make sure they do have high interest, and you want to make sure they do have a real problem. Because there's no point in booking a bodybuilder onto a call. You might have just signed up to something, you might have not realised what he signed up to or something like that. So that's why it's good to dig deep, and that's why it's so good to understand their situation. And again, very, very good again for the closer's pre-call notes. Then he gets to know a lot more about the prospect again. And then chat them about what they've shown interest to, like I said. And then when you're actually dialing them up, it's not the purpose of sending over a calendar over to them. You actually want to do it on the call. So you want to have the full-on conversation about exactly what you've got to offer, cover all these 4 points here, and then look at the calendar, have the calendar up here, have the Go High Level up on the laptop, just be like, right, okay, XYZ has room for tomorrow at 2 PM UK time. Does that work for you? No, it doesn't work. Okay, cool. Does 5 PM UK time? Yeah, that works. Okay, what's your email and number? Always good to get the real email and number, because sometimes if they only give one or the other, they're not always committed. If they're giving them both, there's a lot more commitment included right there. So you want to manually book them into the business owners or closers calendar right here, and then you want to say to them on the phone right there, right, I've just sent you some confirmation through, and can you confirm your end? And once they've confirmed, then you clearly know they're going to show up, or you've left the call. You just want to keep sending the touch points, but always good to clarify as a setter, because a lot of the times these calls are recorded, so it's always good to get them to confirm on that call that they are going to turn up, because if they do no show, you're going to be the one who's having the blame. But even so, they've confirmed there. Always good to still send reminders 24 hours, 12 hours, and 1 hour before the call, because that keeps touch points, because a lot can actually change from year to year, and you don't want anything to creep up. You'd rather them just let them reschedule rather than cancel, because again, your name's on the line. Why hasn't he turned up to the call? After that, 1 hour before the call, same process again. Hand over exactly the information about the prospect, why they're getting on call, what exactly they're looking to achieve, and all info. Getting as much info as possible again for the closer to take the call, and then boom, closer takes the call closes, you take commissions. Like I said, 5 to 10%. And yeah, that's really it. That's my messed up percent mark. That's really it. That is the both appointment setting strategies broken down. So yeah, that's a quick overview of appointment setting, and I hope that broke down enough for you so you better understand what it is and the different types of setters and what sort of platforms you'll be working on as the different setters. And I really do appreciate you watching. There's lots more videos coming soon about appointment setting, different ways to do it, and how to make your first 5k month as an appointment setter. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and see you in the next one.